Hi, I'm Tammy, and I'd like to lead you in a brief, gentle movement practice. This is a practice that I use with patients in the hospital and sometimes with staff just to support a release of muscular tension and a calming of the mind. So finding a comfortable seated posture, beginning to just allow yourself to tune in for a moment to the ways in which you're making contact with gravity. So noticing if there's any tension in the lower extremities and the buttock. And just imagining letting go a bit, maybe letting go of any tension in the belly, any tension in the thighs. And then beginning as you breathe in and out through the nostrils, just to connect with the breath. Feeling that gentle breeze of the breath flowing into and out of the body. And then imagining as you feel on your next in-breath like you're kind of breathing up the spine. So just allowing the spine to begin to lift and lengthen ever so slightly. Beginning to release the hands alongside the body, maybe turning the palms out. And we'll just go through a few rounds of what's known as sun breath. So on your in-breath, we're just going to inhale and allowing the arms to rise up. And as you exhale, arms like wings of a bird releasing down alongside the body. And again, coordinating movement and breath on your inhalation, arms rising. And on your exhalation, releasing and relaxing. We'll do this one more time and seeing if you can let your attention just ride the wave of the breath. Feeling the arms almost like wings of a bird. And coming back to this seated mountain posture. Sitting with a bit of dignity. Feeling again into the breath. This time we'll allow the arms to rise all the way up. And letting the palms come together, exhale right down to the midline. And just noticing the hands, the partnership of the hands. As we interlace the fingers, on another in-breath, we're going to press the palms out so we're getting a nice stretch in the upper back. On an in-breath, again, always honoring your limits, modifying as you need. Coming into a bit of an extended spine if that's available. And as you exhale, arms releasing down, we're just going to rotate gently to the right. On an in-breath, lifting and lengthening through the spine. And again, if you have any spinal conditions, just really tuning in and modifying as you need, looking over that right shoulder. And then like you're pouring the breath in, just allowing yourself to feel that wave-like breath flowing into the torso. And breath flowing out of the torso. Taking about 2 more breaths here. And then on your next in-breath, arms rising back to a comfortable length as you exhale, rotating to the opposite side. Inhale, lifting and lengthening. And exhale, that gentle rotation to the left. Noticing your shoulders, seeing if they may soften a bit down the body. Coming home to the breath and enjoying a few intentional breaths here. On your next in-breath, allowing the arms to rise back up. And this time we're just going to exhale the arms down, shoulder height. Beginning to kind of tune into the shoulders and see if you can feel any possible range of motion. Rotating the shoulders. Come back to stillness, flexing the wrist, almost like a crossing guard here. And then beginning to wake up the digits and fingers. So we know one of the benefits of yoga is that we mobilize joints, increasing synovial fluid. Turning the palms forward as you exhale, just giving yourself a little embrace, a little hug, releasing the chin. Drawing energy in here, just taking a few breaths. As you inhale, when you're ready, arms extending like petals of a flower opening, coming into a bit of that extended spine. And then as you exhale, letting the opposite arm come on top. One more time, a drawing in of energy. And on an in-breath, again, arms opening. And then exhaling back to the seated mountain. Noticing, allowing this very simple part of you that can be present with the echo of sensations in the body. As we go into a lateral stretch, again, if you have anything that might prevent you from extending your arms, honoring that as you take your left hand to your hip, just turning the gaze to the right. We're going to inhale that right arm up as you gently arc over to the left and lifting the gaze, if that's available, pressing the sit bones in. Again, honoring your limits. Breathing into the ribs. And as you exhale, again, the witnessing of this arm, returning, bringing this hand to the hip, releasing the opposite arm, turning the gaze. And on your in-breath, noticing going into this gentle arc and breathing. And on the out-breath, again, the releasing. This time letting the hands rest on the thighs, just taking a moment, if it's available, closing the eyes, tuning into the inner landscape, body, breath, riding a few waves of breath here and noticing how you feel now. Now we'll bring the fingertips to the base of the neck. And sometimes this neck has a pretty mighty job holding this head up all day. So just walking the fingertips up the back of the neck, almost like you're getting a little bit of a traction here. And perhaps the fingers may or may not interlace at the base of the skull. We're just going to open into a bit of an extended spine here as we exhale without putting too much weight on the back of the head, elbows flowing together. On an in-breath, opening. As you exhale, releasing. One more time, inhale, opening. And if it feels right, coming into a posture known as stargazer. Letting the palms come together, eventually exhaled right down the midline of the body. Hands releasing this time back to the thighs. Again, opening to breath, riding that wave of breath. From here, we're just going to take the left hand to the chest and releasing that left ear towards the left shoulder. And see if you can let go of any tension in the right shoulder, letting your attention lightly rest on the felt sense of sensations in the neck, softening with each exhalation. On an in-breath, releasing that hand, head coming back, and then we're going to exhale that right ear towards the right shoulder, right hand coming onto the chest. And feeling as you breathe, as you relax, perhaps the beating of the heart. The hand gently surfing the body breathing. And eventually on an in-breath, coming back, hand releasing, and just dropping the chin here. So getting a nice stretch in the back of the neck. Taking a few breaths. Head eventually rising on an in-breath, arms coming down alongside the body. And we're just going to do a little wringing of the wrists, just kind of imagining the corridor of the arms, releasing any gunk or strain in the shoulders, in the neck. And we'll complete our practice with a breathing technique called sounding sighs with shoulder shrugs. And this can be done in and of itself. So we're going to inhale the shoulders up. We're going to Scrunch and hold for a count of 3. And exhaling through the mouth and letting go. And one more time, inhale, scrunching and holding. And letting go. We'll do this one final time, inhaling, scrunching, and exhale. Just let it all go. Hands coming to rest back on the thighs. Taking a moment, noticing how you feel now. Knowing that you can return to this practice again and again as you need to support your well-being.